Alright, what's good people on the internet? Welcome back to Auhapwrd. Now in this video, I'm going to talk about something completely different than usual because usually I only talk about art breakdown, but in this episode, I want to talk about the whole 3D art industry from my point of view. Now, if you've been following me for quite a while, I've been in this kind of industry for 3 years. And I've worked with almost 150 different clients and companies. So I feel like I need to talk about this in some way to share my experience. Maybe if you are some kind of new, younger, beginner artist, you might find some insight from me. Or maybe if you're a professional artist yourself, we can probably relate to each other and talk about this stuff in a chill, general manner. Now, I have something like quite a lot to talk about actually. But to give you like a brief example, we are going to talk about the art industry in 2025 because let's just be honest, there's rising of AIs and you know the drill, AI this, AI that. Even on Pinterest, there's already like almost swarmed by this AI generated image that I personally already like almost done with it. So there's gonna be a lot of topic that I want to talk about and share with you guys. So yeah, first of all, we are going to talk about number one topic. I want to talk about the overall art market economy currently from my point of view. There's a lot of companies that already have used AI, and you can't deny the fact that it's just part of their business. They kind of want to decrease the rate of the labor by, if they want to use AI and they can use AI to make art, why would even they need to hire someone that costs money and takes more time, right? That's like a simple way to explain it. Not just in the art industry, but everything in general is already like almost, if you search on YouTube right now, currently, there's a lot of people complaining about their jobs replaced by this AI stuff going on. Even writers and then programmers, even programmers not really that much, but like some of the cases actually happening too, and also two-dimension art and probably 3D art too. But I want to talk about that later on in much deep way. But the current market is kind of fucked up. Let's just be honest. If you somehow, some way are trying to find a job from company that you're looking for a full-time job, it's gonna be quite hard because you gotta compete yourself with AI, and then there's just so many stuff going on internet. And even there's a lot of people who faking their work by saying that their work is not AI, but to be honest, it's like AI, but they kind of have like some kind of progress video trying to hide the fact that they use AI, but actually they use AI, but that's a whole different topic. But from my point of view, in this year, 2025 is kind of hard. The race of AI is uncontrollable. Even if I actually saw on many platforms, to be honest, there's just a lot of AI stuff going on, man. Even I almost like puke because one thing that I also hate about AI art is that it's really easy to tell. If you're an artist, I'm pretty sure 100% you can tell whether this art is going to be AI or not, because it's all of those AI arts are literally the same. It's some way it's just the same, and I don't like it. See, I use Pinterest a lot to get myself a lot of inspiration, especially color. And I like to see, also part of my hobby, consume art in general, two-dimension art, not just 3D art. I consume two-dimension art too from different many artists. I like to actually see it, and personally, I love to consume some of really great artists that I ever see on there. But now it's just recently it's full of AI, and I'm pretty disappointed. And from the job market side too, I don't think it's quite reliable in this society. I don't know, you tell me. But for me personally, I've never applied any jobs because I have my own brand, and I want to talk about that later on in this video. So that's just like the very first topic I want to talk about. Number 2 is going to be surviving as a 3D freelancer artist. Now, where do we start in this case? See, there's so many artists, especially 3D artists out there on Instagram, on Artstation, Behance, Dribble, and stuff. They're trying to show their work, basically. So this whole social media is basically your portfolio. You if you want to survive as a freelancer, the only way you can do that is by having solid portfolio and then market it to the point that a lot of people sees it, and hoping that some of those people who see your work is actually companies or a personal brand that try or looking for artists to work with their product or project. That's the only way to describe it. So your only way to survive is doing that. So if you don't have a portfolio, or like especially solid portfolio, well, you're cooked. How are you gonna promote your work, right? And if you want to talk about it in a specific matters too, niche is really helping, because if you don't have niche, like what type of 3D work that you actually work, right? There's a lot of people actually having like a really popular 3D art. I saw on Instagram, there's a lot of people working on really good artwork, 3D art, but they kind of lack of the direction that they want to be in the future. And those are, it might gain attraction and popularity, but after that, if you're not like sure about what you're trying to make, it's just turned out to be like confusing your audience. You make this and your audience is feeling like, okay, this is something different. It's not usually you make this, and some way, somehow, if they're not loyal to you, they're just gonna unfollow you, or worst case, they're not gonna support you anymore. So if you get the point, that's the way it is. And that is why I want to talk about the next topic about this, is that niche. Niche is going to really help to shape your career as a 3D artist or 3D modeler on social media, because by having niche, people already have like some certain of expectation about what you made later on. So there's a lot of different artists in this case, automotive 3D artists. There's a lot of freelance character designer. So if you're going on this specific niche, you already have like already in your mind that you can be any creative as you want, but it's not going to be outside from this niche. So it's kind of help you to organize your work while also keep maintaining the attention from your audience to know that, oh, this guy is only specializing in this case. So if I ever want to work with this guy, I already know how to expect and what to expect from this guy. Now, it's kind of limiting, because like if you already like decided you want to focus on this niche, you can't really go outside from that, and maybe if you're lucky to, there's company that can ask you, hey, can you do this too? And you might argue with that or give your, I don't know, like brief scenario case, explain that you can do that too. But to the point that you want to have like a solid Instagram or social media page, niche is going to help. Like it's not for everyone, I know, but it's really going to help. Now, number 4 topic that I want to talk about is going to be brand yourself. Now, talking about brand, I think the only reason why you want to brand yourself is because it's just going to create certain image from people or your audience that this is you. This is what makes you different from any other 3D artist, because you have your own brand, like Initial. I have a lot of artists that I follow on in Instagram. There's a lot of them. They have their own initial name, even though the brand name is not always going to be like sounds professional, but as long as it's like attached to your unique style and work, people are going to recognize you by that brand, and it's actually going to give you more attention. If you know what I'm saying, it's going to give you more plus point to be considered to work with. And that's what brand actually matter. And what I want to say too is that you need to focus on how you actually gonna monetize your work too. Like for my case, or many other artists' case, is that they want to be hired by some company or contract to work with them for a certain amount of months or year even. That's like the cliche typical stuff going on. But aside from that, you kind of want to make or like have passive income or active income as yourself as an artist. Which in my case, what I do is I have commissions, and that's basically my entire whole income from. But we are going to talk about that on the next topic, which is going to be how I survive this long. So to put it simple, my main idea of business is very, very simple. Shout out to the OG artists in this kind of niche that I'm currently working, because I'm not the only one in this industry that work on a specific car automotive mini chibi art design or car model. But to put it simple, you have your own work, you have your own personal project, that you're really excited, you put on your Instagram or any of your social media, and that's it. Attract people, have a good storytelling, and make yourself sound really honest that you are excited and not desperate trying to find clients or commissions, because people actually kind of able to see your intention. If you're trying so hard looking desperate from for a client, then client or people might don't want to commission you because of that, which is kind of weird, but that's at least from my experience. So the way it works is that I put my work on Instagram, have enough attention or have enough view. But again, we're not talking about popularity, because from my experience, views, like doesn't equal you get clients. Okay, so you gotta remember that. Even when I was smaller back then, only 10,000 follower or 20,000 follower, there's still a lot of clients commissioning me about my work. So yeah. So surprise, surprise, it's not all about views or like, because there's a lot of artists too that have a big following or views, but doesn't really have any clients or commission. So yeah, it is what it is. But basically, back in my case, I put my work, personal portfolio project on my Instagram, because at least for now, that's my reliable source for marketing my work. It works for me, but not for everyone. Because, we're not even talking about the algorithm on Instagram. That's a whole different thing. But to put it simple, I put my work there, and I have a website for clients or for upcoming clients to commission my work if they wanted to. So yeah, basically attract people that have similar attraction to what you actually try to find your audience for, and then wait until finally you get clients that is interested commissioning you, and they finally can order it straight from your website by your own terms. Now, that's how I survive this long. Basically, doing commissions is, at least for now, what I'm actually surviving myself for, and make me able to survive this long. But yeah, alhamdulillah, thanks to Allah for that. And also, you kind of want to have, need to make yourself passive income by, you can design merch, prints, and other stuff. So even if you're not working, you can alter your audience to buy your prints and other merch. But again, this is gonna be a whole new work to do, because you gotta market more and you gotta have like a loyal audience for your art if you really wanna, have this kind of specific following on your revenue. And I also want to talk about AI stuff. You need to have something unique that AI can do at the end of the day, because if your art is just like what's considered as mediocre, that AI can just do that easily, then well, you're cooked. AI is just gonna replace you anytime, and it shouldn't better, because even on a 3D industry, there's AI who can do a basic shape of 3D design that they don't need human to do it anymore. Like for example, a banner style for a company, chibi meta style, even though they don't really have the 3D file, but at least they can produce the render image look as 3D, as it looks like it made from 3D program, if you know what I'm saying. Because I've seen a lot of market or mall already using that to promote their website and campaign, something like that, by just using AI. So make something that it's really distinguished. Even AI can do that. In my case, because I'm very lucky, it's gonna be car. If you talk about car I'm spit out a lot. Okay, now if you want to talk about car modeling from 3D perspective, car is considered as organic modeling, and it's not just like a basic simple shape that AI can do. It's all back to your personal touch from the artist's life using your hand. You gotta craft your own art on your Blender 3D apps or Cinema 4D or AutoCAD. So it's not something that a robot can just do easily. And even if robots somehow can do it, it's not gonna fully able to replicate your hand movement or your initial personal thoughts in there. So yeah, to put it simple, be as good as you are and make yourself distinguished, and even so that AI can do what you can do. To put it simple, that's the way it is. Because in my case, so far I've been doing really good. I've been receiving still commissions from people and companies working for me behind the scene under contract or something like that. The reason why they're interested is, first of all, because of the brand. I already have built my brand quite good enough to the point it's going to be trustable, and I have a lot of solid portfolio. And again, the last thing is, well, if you're a Muslim, you gotta pray to Allah because Allah is the one who gonna give you money at the end of the rizq. So yeah, but talking about from general perspective, you gotta be like certain of genius itself on this kind of art, because you can't just be artist and forget about the rest of this thing. You gotta market yourself, you gotta study the algorithm of Instagram, that you gotta study the people wants to, what excited people and what makes people want to order your work. So yeah, but again though, I'm not taking the full credit to myself, because at the end of the day, I'm just one of the lucky that can made it so far. I've seen a lot of hardworking artists too that's way better than me, but still not making it, at least surviving this long, which is, I'm really sad because of this whole AI racing stuff going on. And it's kind of hard too growing on Instagram these days, and new artists too. You're really lucky if you already have like a big following on Instagram. You just need to like at least maintain your connection with your audience, post routine, discipline. That's you're basically set. If you already have that, congratulations, you're set. You just need to keep going, don't stop, don't give up. There's already, like, I want to talk about this the easy way. The next topic is going to be the easy way. If you're a 2D artist or 3D artist, there's an easy way to make money, because there's a lot of degenerate out there. So I see a lot on Twitter, people making NSFW art, and boom, just have Patreon, create a teasing image there, and then put the rest on Patreon, and boom, you got yourself 70K per month or whatever. It is really hard. But as a Muslim, you can't do that. That's prohibited. That's haram alik. You can't do that. And I'm not condoning you to do that. But this is just like, I want to mention from general perspective, there's this way, which I'm not condoning to do that. Don't do that. If you're a Muslim especially, don't do that. But yeah, it exists. Easy money. But yeah. Okay, now let's talk about my advice. I want to give you some advice if you're a beginner artist, or maybe you're surviving long enough as a pro artist even. I think my biggest advice is you need to focus more on your personal growth. Okay, so first you need to very focus on your own project too. And by the time you go, if your work is actually good, people are going to come to you, regardless whatever it is. If your art is good enough, eventually your art is going to be shared by tons of people, from people to people, until finally there's people that are interested and wanting to work with you, commissions you, or whatever it is, but basically they're going to work with you. So focus more on your personal growth. Don't worry too much about the very first challenge step. Might be 2 months not getting client, because I've been there before, and that's completely fine too. And also the next advice that I want to give you about financial thing is that you need to save as much as you can as a personal independent artist, because by the end of the day, all of your earning income, if you don't have any other job beside this, then you can rely on this. You gotta save as much as you can for your retirement. And that's why you need to live below your means, if you know what I'm saying. So don't just blow your money on stuff that is useless. Make a good investment, invest on a gold or something like that. Depends on where you live, because each person, if you live in America, usually you go to an ETF or index fund, something like that. But in my case, gold is the most stable, at least going to cover some from the inflation in my country. But there's different cases, but basically invest your money so that it's not going to be defeated by the inflation later on, and save as much as you can. Don't catching up with the new trend. I see a lot of people blow their money buying the latest gadgets, phone and stuff. But personally, I'm not really into that, because that's just not necessary. If you're an artist, you don't really care about that. You care more about your work and your personal time being spent on trying to get inspiration and working on your personal project. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents here. Now, lastly, I want to talk about, not really last, but not least, but is it worth it? Now, I want to talk about, if you're new or trying to go into this industry, 3D art, is it really worth it? Well, it depends, right? If you want to talk about it from business perspective manner, there's still a chance it's worth it, especially if you're really serious and it's just part of your passion. You like doing it, not just because you want to make money out of it. It's completely worth it, especially if you have a good skill later on that you can develop by the time it goes. You can make a really unique art style, even on a specific niche, people already doing it. But if you have some distinguished style and you have a good way to market it and connect with your audience, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of, there's going to be market on your own business. You know, there's always going to be people that commissions you, because let's just be honest, from my experience, there's still many people that appreciate art that is made by human, even digital, rather than just using AI, because AI art is just really cheap. To be honest, it looks really cheap, man. It doesn't have personal thought. You can't feel it. It doesn't have soul. But yeah, it is. Now, well, at the end of the day, the creative life is creative. You gotta be adapt. You need to always adapt to any situation. Know your audience. You can't just do thing again, same thing again and again. That's why if you see my recent post or like word, there's always gonna be like a lot of changing style in there. But that's just part of my my way of trying to approach new thing. I guess. But I guess don't stress too much about this. I mean, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I mean, if you live in the US right now or you're going through this economy, I know it's going to be sucks, because living in the US is going to be really expensive. You got to pay rent. You got to also have like a stable income. And if you're doing this and you don't have other job beside this, well, then you got to have like a supportive parents that want to support you doing this while you're trying to grind those money. But if not, it's going to be really hard. So, well, I think just don't give up. Don't stress too much about it. Just try your best. Take one day at a time. I think eventually you're gonna find your own passion. Even if it's not in the 3D industry, there's always plenty option on this world. Anyways, not just like 3D is everything. You can be still a lot of things, but you figure it out. Just take your time too, because in my case, I'm just lucky enough. I don't really actually know what I'm doing back then when I first started this business too. I just like car. I saw a lot of great artists already making this mini car, and I'm interested too. And I try my best to make my own style that's kind of like different and have my own way to do certain things. And somehow it just worked out up until now, which I'm really grateful. But yeah, I guess that's just how it is. Good luck out there, and I'm rooting for you. If I can't do it, you definitely can't do it too, because like, yeah, I'm just a random guy, on internet somehow making this kind of stuff. Basically, I'm just a nerd who spent all of my work time on in front of a PC making 3D work. All right, I guess that's gonna be the end of this video. Thank you so much if you're staying until the end. I really appreciate it. Maybe you can share your own thoughts about this kind of stuff. Let me know in the comment section down below. I like to try new things like this too on my channel. If you like it, you can click like. If you don't like it, well, you can dislike it. Maybe I don't want to make it in the future anymore. But if you want to see more content like this, which I think this is really good way for me to connect with you guys even more, please let me know in the comment section down below. The next art breakdown is going to be for something interesting that I'm not going to spoil it right now, but it's going to be something really, really interesting. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Stay awesome, stay powered. Peace out.